Hello guys, how are we doing and welcome back to the channel. There is one mistake I see people make over and over and over again, and it's nothing technical. It's not like you're aiming incorrectly or you're not moving right or you're not reading spawns effectively and things like that. It's owning up to their mistakes. There's a lot of people who find it way too easy to blame things out of their control because it makes them feel a little bit better. And okay, that might sound a little bit harsh, but most of the time there will be things that you could have done to either get more SR, rank up quicker, win a specific game. The gameplay we're going to be looking at today is one of my own where we do lose considerably. We lose by over one hill. And I do personally pretty well. I get nearly a 2KD, similar hill time to everybody else. I get a good amount of objective kills and captures, but there's clearly things I'm doing in this video that isn't benefiting the team as much as it should. Now, you could argue, if you had a bit, because I'm solo queuing in this gameplay, you could argue the team didn't perform well itself. But then is it my job as an AR role to have supported my team a little bit more so they could have performed to their ability? That's the sort of thing we're going to be trying to break down. And it's a really good habit when you ever have a game like this where you've popped off but you still lost, to review it back and not blame the teammates. Forget what they're doing. What could you have done to impact that gameplay to have got the win? So that's exactly what we're going to be doing here. With the addition of theatre mode within Black Ops 6, it's going to be super easy for you to do. You don't need to stream or recording devices at all anymore. You can literally go on theatre mode and watch it back to see where you went wrong. And we are going to be critical. I know I like to review a lot of my gameplays where we do things right and we do really nice holds and things like that. But I feel like it's important to be between us two, me and you guys out there, to be super transparent and say, yeah, no, we're not perfect. As I say, pros have their VODs reviewed because they're not perfect. And if the pros aren't perfect, we're never going to be perfect COD players. So we're kicking it off here. The routes when you're solo queuing can be a little off. This is a guaranteed route I love to do to get a couple of kills. Unfortunately, my teammates, they probably all played their default routes, and it meant that no one really hit the hill much, which is why I sort of decided to situate myself on the hill. And that's the bit of a struggle when we are solo queuing. But as I say, we're not going to be focusing on the things that are out of my control. I might mention them, but what I'm really thinking about and what I'm really trying to focus on is what I could have personally done as a teammate and as an individual player in this game to enhance my team's ability to get the dub. So yeah, I'm going to be overcritical, and that's what you really should be. So it's coming towards the end of P1, and I feel like I'm doing a nice job here of just trying to keep these spawns. We're trying to get a decent setup for P2, sorry. I like the fact that I ducked out of that gunfight without dying too much. It's good to give you praise as well. It shouldn't all be doom and gloom. It shouldn't be all really, really critical. There's definitely things you should, give yourself a pat on the back for and identify those things so you don't really need to look at those things. I do this so much, by the way. Being like having a YouTube channel means I do watch a lot of my own content back and a lot of my own gameplay, so it's easy for me to do, but you can have a notepad and write things down, what your strengths and weaknesses are as you're reviewing it and things like that. But yeah, solely recommend it. And at the end of the day, so I'm diverting a little bit. At the end of the day, if you're not owning up to your mistakes and just blaming everyone else for anything, you're never going to improve. So you really need to go, right, what can I do better here to get to where I need to get to? Okay, mistake number one. So we get 2 down. Teammate does get traded out. We've got a teammate who's kitchen. I'm sort of watching the back spawn here. I could have pushed up a little bit, but I'm probably playing a little bit too passive, you could argue. Teammate dies. I shoot. My teammate dies. Or they've pushed through. I don't know why they were pushing through, but they pushed through. And now I've jumped on the hill. I should not have done this. Now, the reason I shouldn't have done this, I'm going to explain, is because I'm the only one left alive. The enemy know I'm the only one left alive because they can see 3 red names on their screen, meaning that the person who's now on the hill is the only one alive, so they can just throw themselves at it. And as a result, I think I've just died. I've been shot from the back, I've been shot from the front, and I've just been outnumbered because they know exactly where I am, and I'm dealing with 2. It could have been 3 or 4 players. What I should have perhaps done is played a little bit more defensively, slowed my pace down a little bit, tried to get 1 kill at a time rather than just jumping on the objective. That's a slap on the wrist for me. And that's something I should own up. And that's, again, when I play this map mode combo next, or any sort of map, I'm going to be like, right, if my teammates are down, don't jump on the hill. Play a little bit more passively, wait for your teammates to support, and then push in. There's a little bit of time left of the old objective, but I'm not too fussed about setting up at new here. They're not too far in front, so I don't mind giving up 20 seconds or so of hill time just to get a good setup at the new, so I'm happy with what I'm doing here. Picked up the KSV so I can be a little bit more versatile. Okay. So, they're on the hill. I've got a really nice setup. So I'm watching the front just like so. I've got a teammate who's sat on the hill time. I've got a teammate who's sat blocking all the way deep here, like over long. And then you've got a teammate's top cat, essentially, or bottom gym, actually, sorry, essentially looking at their exit. Now, we've got everything covered pretty much. Teammates watching mid, they're watching this side, I'm watching this side. We've pretty much got everything covered. Now, they've got off the hill. We haven't seen anyone. We don't know where they are. We haven't shot anyone in a while. It's a bit quiet. Teammates shooting at this player on my team, and I just haven't read this player here. I should have read them. I think the fact that we didn't see anyone rotate early, nor was my teammate in the back shooting, and the fact that this teammate on the hill was barely shooting someone at that time, I probably should have been a little bit more predictable here. I should have played a little bit more patient. Yeah, is what it is. That's definitely something I think we should have done a little bit better. I think I was expecting them to rotate really early, or at least earlier, and they just didn't. So I got a little bit impatient. So I'm giving away a little bit of hill time here. We're getting a good amount of hill kills, so I'm just trying to cut off the map now, so my teammates only really need to focus on one direction, which is now their front. Notice they need a little bit of help, so I go to assist. Managed to get a couple of good kills, avoid the nade. Teammates spawning behind me, which means we're so good for spawns for now. I've jumped off the hill, my teammates bumped me off, so we're in a nice little position. We have, again, though, got off the hill. We're leaving 6 seconds of hill time, which is questionable, but it is what it is.
Hardpoint active. Hardpoint locked down.
Okay, this isn't good. So, the reason I'm pushed up so far is because I want to try and, when you're in P2, say P2 is active, if I make that active, P3 even, when P3 is active, if you've got someone blocking back here on your team, if I make this, if you've got someone back here blocking, the enemies are then going to, and you push through a little bit like so, the enemies are going to spawn here, which is a real long direction to get to this hill as well as the new objective. So that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to make sure that because I had a teammate blocking, which I did at this point, I was pushing through a little bit, so they spawned all the way over here. Now, what unfortunately happened was that when we started to transition to the new objective, I saw a player go over the top. I tried to ping it so my teammate could pick up that kill. We just didn't put enough, and I did get the elim for that player, so I know that player died. Somehow, the enemy still managed to get through. They get one kill, they get another kill, they get a two-piece, and that means that the players who we had around the new hill have died, and it's less me and this other player at the new hill. So perhaps I could have emphasized my focus a little bit more on the spawn. But then again, if my teammates would have won those gunfights, I'm in a really nice position to cut off the entire map, which is what I was hoping. So I think I was maybe being a little bit optimistic. I maybe need to plan for the worst, as the saying goes. But again, although I'm blaming my teammates in the fact that they lost those gunfights, I know myself, if I was there to support them, maybe they wouldn't have lost those gunfights. So I could have probably been a little bit more... could have assumed they would lose the gunfight, and I maybe should have assumed that they needed my support. Okay, let's just quickly read that death. We've got a player on the left. Players then just spawned out. I see a couple players in the back. Yeah, I just didn't read it. That's fine. I need to work on that. And this is the thing you really should be trying to do if you can on your own gameplays. And although, as I say, there's teammates here who aren't doing their best, and sometimes they are costing certain situations. There's loads of stuff here that I could have been doing to actually benefit the team a little bit more. But I also think it's important to highlight things I'm doing well. So what I'm doing here, pushing out the spawns and making them spawn further and further away from the current objective, is a nice thing to be able to do. So I expected that enemy there. I think I should have probably, instead of stunning, just waited for a nade. I just didn't expect them to spawn really close. It is what it is. They actually just spawned. So P1's up. We're currently a few points behind, about 30 points behind. So just got to make this next set of rotations a little bit nicer. So I'm rotating through here to get to P2 spawns, or at least hold P2 spawns, so the enemies end up spawning the other side of the map, which I don't mind. My teammates have therefore pinched the hill, and what I'm thinking here, my thought process is, if I'm pushing from this side, my teammates are pushing from the other side, we should be looking pretty good. Now this was a cock-up from me, an error. Sorry, cock-up's a little bit of an English thing. Yeah, it's no reason I should have just preaimed it. If I thought an enemy was there, which I clearly did for him to throw a nade, I most definitely should have preaimed it. So again, I've used my tack and frag maybe inefficiently. Nice, teammates are getting kills. I managed to get my one, and we're on the hill. I read this spawn. I just got absolutely ripped. That's fair play. I guess on that heady I could have been a little bit deeper down the stairs, so therefore I'd have been a little bit more covered from that heady, but it is what it is. It's not looking good. Not looking good. Going into P2, we don't have much rotation or much map control. Thankfully, my teammates have done absolutely massive bits at the new hill, meaning that I think that's 4 down now, meaning that my teammate's going to spawn in with them. I'm going to hopefully get that cut across the whole map. And instead of running back to them, I'm deciding if I can stay here and hold this mid-map, I should be able to get a couple of kills or at least stop them getting across the map so easily. Again, I should have just pre-aimed. I'm using my stun and nade a little bit too preemptively there. I should have just pre-aimed them and waited for the kills to come. Using my nades like that, I think, are fine because I'm using it and then getting away really quickly, and I'm in cover when I'm using it. But I think I should stop trying to use my nades when I don't have cover. I think that's one thing that I'm going to learn from this gameplay, at least. We're still getting a decent amount of hill control because we got those good spawns initially. I probably didn't need to back out of the hill there. And I think me backing out of the hill there was the reason for us to be broken, which is a little bit of a shame. Okay, coming into P3, we're in a little bit of a good situation. Trying to cut off the routes from the old hill, and then I'm trying to wrap back to the spawn to block this spawn so that my teammates know the enemies are just going to be spawning front. Okay, I like what's happening here. That nade's due to go over. I was just trying to get to cover to try and block the spawn, but perhaps I shouldn't have done that. So because my teammates are spawning out, you can see them spawning. You can see them spawning out here. That would mean, in my head, that somebody from the other team has pushed through bedroom, or at least they're going to be top bed, bottom bed, or something like that. Which is why, when I was here, I decided to just try and slide across so I could take on the gunfight around their side. What I probably should have done is just stay behind that cover, especially given I knew there was someone in kitchen. Stay behind that cover and just pre-aim this rather than coming out of cover to try and get across. It's a tough one. They hit good shots. Okay, we're in a little bit of a sticky situation here where we're now all 4 coming off of spawn, going through, and we're just like halfway into P3. That was a silly death. Probably should have read it. Teammates just spawned behind them, so it's a real nice chance to pinch the objective right now. And because my teammates spawned behind them, I'm able to read the piano spawns, which is why I'm sort of pre-aiming this.
Hardpoint located.
Read that. Unfortunately, teammates spawn behind me. And again, it's another situation where we've just lost the gunfights at P4. So they're going to have the good spawns for P4. We're spawning out. So we're going to be spawning out for P4. So it's a real tough situation where I was trying to cut them up on P3, and I just didn't assist enough with them in the back of the new hill. So it's a toughie. Let's say, although they probably should have won their gunfights, or maybe put themselves in positions where they most definitely could have won those gunfights, I maybe could have been there to support them a little bit more, rather than trying to cut off the kills. Maybe I could have supported them, then pushed through to cut the kills. But I don't know. I think again I was being a little bit too over optimistic that they were going to win the gunfights. Again, which is something you can work on. That death there is what it is. I'm not going to be too critical to myself about that. So again, I'm trying to cut off the map here, just do as much as I can as a teammate to deter the enemy's push, or at least delay their push from coming in. Teammates managed to get on the hill here. This is a nice setup. We've somehow managed to break this. Teammate got a couple kills, which helped. Good trade from a teammate there. And we're getting a good amount of hill control. We're getting a good amount of hill time. So I'm getting, I'm getting good kills there, and our teammates just need to try and win their ones and support each other a bit more. But because they're so close knit and I'm so far pushed out, the enemy's intent is sort of spread across the map. Whereas otherwise, if we were all in the hill, they all would just chow the hill. So like that, we're going into P2. We've narrowed the gap by 15 seconds within that set of rotation, and we're looking good. Okay, I know exactly what's going to happen here. Yeah. So this was just a little bit of a spawn read. I could have been a little bit more aware of where my teammates were spawning. So we've just killed 2 people. Teammates all the way back there, meaning that those 2 players are going to spawn in behind us because no one's blocking the spawn behind us, but my teammate's blocking the spawn that side. So after I killed this person here, I should have most definitely been aware that there was going to be someone jumping up behind me, because that's exactly what I've just done when I spawned there. So a little bit of spawn awareness, a little bit of I think I was too much in the moment and I didn't take my time to understand where my teammates were and where that would mean the enemy spawn. So that's again something we can learn from, and that has enabled them to get a good amount of hill time at the new hill. And although I'm playing for P1, P2 here, and I'm trying to fight for these spawns, we're giving a lot of P1 time away here. So that's why I'm sort of sprinting to the current objective, seeing if I can get my damage out. I've got no one really here supporting me, so I don't want to commit to a gunfight. And then they've somehow got through. I think I'm trying to read how they got through. So all my team spawned here. One of my teammates spawned out. That's why. Teammate spawned out. They've gone top cat. They've died, but this teammate's gone to kitchen. And they must have jumped off kitchen as the enemy come up and come around the corner. Yeah, because they've jumped kitchen. This player's coming from this way. So as the player was probably coming up the stairs to the right here, my teammate probably jumped out. So I'm not going to blame myself too harsh for that. I think it was just bad timing.
Hardpoint is secure. Hostiles attached to the hardpoint. Hardpoint located.
So again, that's a little bit of a silly challenge. I knew I just shot. I knew that they would be looking at me because I just shot and I just stood in the open while they were on the absolutely disgusting headies. So put myself in an unfavorable gunfight, which you should never be doing. So again, next time I'm on Skyline in that exact position, I'll do something different. So pick up my own trade. I notice my teammate's the only one left on the hill. So I'm just trying to support them as much as I can. Get 2 with the 1 flashed. I think that's okay. I don't think I really did too much wrong there. I managed to just be annoying, get a few kills.
Hardpoint is secure.
Yeah, I like what I'm doing here. As long as my teammates don't die around the hill, we should be fine. Need my teammate. It's never good. Yeah, so I think when that's 1 player down. Yeah, I don't think we've got anyone in the back blocking. So what that meant was any of these players spawning in were just spawning in the back. So perhaps as soon as I knew my teammate was spawning here, I should have gone and supported the hill. I most definitely should have done that. My teammate's always going to spawn up there because they're on the hill. So again, it's just reads, it's just time, it's just putting the reps in and doing this sort of thing. Yeah. And I'm hoping there's things I'm doing that you guys are learning from as well. So I know it's great to see good setups and good plays and breakdowns of clutches and things like that when you watch my gameplay. But there's most definitely things you can learn from in my gameplay as well. Again, I'm planning that nade to land the other side of their spawn, but I don't think it does. It's a little bit optimistic. Good kill to break this hill. Unfortunately, do get traded out immediately. I tried to play my life a little bit more. Yeah, now we're in a real sticky situation. And they need 6 more seconds to win. Teammate get that kill. Nice. Okay, we're in an okay position here. I think I did. Oh, I didn't think I played too terribly there. We've got good spawns. My teammates pushed through a little bit. I need to back up to count. To make sure they don't spawn in behind me. Check the top so that I know whether they're coming over the top. Good kill from me. Gosh, that was a close gunfight. So my teammates have all spawned left, so I'm trying to pick up the top here. Something that will really hinder us if we get broken from top. So I'm trying to make sure we get that control. Teammates should hit by a lot of pressure front. And we've just been broken. Okay, let's break down what happened there. Where was our weakness? So, we're all here. I'm going top. My teammate's hitting time. My 2 teammates have spawned. So let's draw this out, shall we? Let's just move these out of the way quickly. We'll draw our own little diagram. So 2 enemies has just spawned here. Teammates gone into hill. I've gone top, meaning that we should really have top covered, kitchen covered, and the front push covered, because this teammate should have that. So what exactly happens? There's a guy in bedroom who unfortunately manages to kill the player on this back heady. Unfortunate. The player, that's what's happened. So the player who was here, there's a player here. This player killed. This player ran up the top to try and cover things, even though I was already up there, which meant that this person could push through here, meaning that I got picked off from my left. Although they jumped up, I'm not sure where they went. God knows. Yeah, we're going to spawn all the way out now. So what could I have done better? I would have played a little bit more defensively here. We just got 3 down. I was trying to be, again, a little bit offensively, trying to cut off the map, push through, whereas I probably should have sat back on one of the headies, maybe on this little table to my left, or maybe right at the back, or something like that, just to try and cut them, just to try and hold these spawns and not just commit myself fully to this hill. Again, that's just, I think I just misunderstood my role within this team because I'm solo queue, and I'm often the player that likes to cut rather than sit back and block, but hey, it is what it is, and I think that's pretty much the game. So I'd love to hear your feedback on today's video. If it's something that you would want to see more of, I'm happy to, but this is probably going to be the only one that I do where I review a loss and be really critical like this. I hope you enjoyed it. Any questions about anything I've gone through today, let me know down in the comments. You can DM me on Twitter or Discord, of course. That'll do for me. Enjoy the rest of your day. Ciao for now.